NDTV.
That Babush Montserrat's resignation may trigger new political equations that have less to do with ideology and more to do with control of the real estate market.
Properly.
I don't think it is functioning right now.
They were doing, but now because of this regional plan, I don't know.
Congress अच्छा काम करता और ज़्यादा कमाता.
There's a new generation of politicians now.
As they emerge from morning mass, the voices of Goa. On the surface, voices that signal a wipeout for Congress and a chance for the BJP to take the moral high ground when it comes to protecting Goa's real estate.
BJP, we don't have builder with us. Okay. There's not a single MLA or a single contestant of ours has a building as a profession or contract as a profession.
But within hours of that interview, a BJP MLA joins the Congress and is sworn in as minister. The man who engineers the defection, Congress leader Babush Montserrat. Montserrat himself has resigned as minister because of a controversial plan that's seen as selling out to builders' interests. A resignation that clearly hasn't weakened him. In fact, he represents Goa's new political reality, a group of politicians who are united less by ideology and more by real estate interests. Like Pandurang Madkaikar, Minister for Transport, Agnello Fernandez, the MLA from Kalangut, said to be involved in a number of real estate projects, and Isidore Fernandez, the ex-MLA from Poinguni, again linked to land deals. It's more or less the same group which walked out of Manohar Parikar's BJP government in 2005 and brought it down.
2 Madkaikar, 4 that Fernandez from Kalangut,
the MLA from
Kalangut, 6 Babush himself.
If I was stripped of the portfolio, 5 other MLAs would not leave their position for me. So there was something wrong with the government.
Today they may be with Congress, but tomorrow, who knows?
Babush's future plan would be to form a group, pure mercenaries like him, and if he has 7 or 8 MLAs, given the split and the thing, I mean, he can stake his for the chief ministership and possibly get it.
Jitendra Deshprabhu represents Goa's old-style Congress politics and has nothing but disdain for his land-hungry colleagues.
No, obviously, I mean, someone, somewhere is in a cheering hurry to make pots of money.
The setting for his disdain, this magnificent 16th century palace, home to his family, royal migrants from Maharashtra who settled in Goa's Pernem Taluka and were recognized by the Portuguese court. Deshprabhu's family literally owns most of Pernem Taluka, leaving a twist of irony to his contempt for those who want to grab land in his party. You're the second largest landowner in Goa. First is the government, you're the second and the church is the third.
I have been so for 400 years.
But some would say that's easy for you to say, given that you're this huge landowner. I mean, you just inherited hundreds and hundreds of acres of land.
I've even purchased during my lifetime.
How much land do you own totally?
I wouldn't be able to.
That much?
It would be appropriate. It would be appropriate.
With Sujoy Gupta and Frankie Fernandez, Srinivas Jain for NDTV. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the debate between activists and politicians on the development of Goa. Between activists who are now rushing from site to site to stop what they say is illegal construction, to a government that seems determined to push ahead with its plans. We began to ask whether a middle ground was even possible in such a fiercely polarized debate, and found that the answer might be closer than most think.
Can't somebody come and stop it? By the time they come and write information, work is happening. The whole night yesterday work was happening.
The new proactive face of the fight to save Goa. Activists rush to wherever illegal construction to stop the bulldozers, like at this patch of forest in Aldea, the Goa.
Every time there is a hill cutting, just yesterday there was a hill cutting in Sirida, we have to jump out from our places of work.
So you're dashing from place to place.
Is that calls and we are answering the calls. We have to go to the town and country planning department. We have to go to the police.
But there are worries that in the urgency to save Goa, Goa won't grow.
What we are afraid, if this view is taken, extreme view is taken, which goes towards fundamentalism, Goa will be industrially backed.
There's little doubt that Goa, one of India's tourist destinations, has to grow and grow fast. There are 75,000 unemployed registered with the exchange. The actual unemployment figure could be much higher. There's a shortfall of at least 10,000 more hotel beds in Goa. And the total number of extra homes required is dash. But in this fiercely polarized Goa, is there a solution? What's the blueprint for Goa to grow?
Safety measures are there in the plan. Then what is permissible user, what is prohibited user?
Atmaram Nadkarni is the lawyer defending the government's controversial regional plan, the one that activists say will destroy Goa. He says that the plan in its original form is not flawed. It's just that the additions penciled in by the politicians, that's the problem.
The very plan also says that areas which are under forest cannot be developed. Areas which are under tenanted lands cannot be developed. Areas which are under CADA cannot be developed. Then there are areas where the gradient is 25% or more can't be developed. Heritage areas can't be developed. There are so many other areas also.
All of that is there in the...
All of that is there in the plan.
Do activists agree?
In fact, this plan itself is a good guideline. This has a development plan, this has forecast, this has numbers of everything, the tourism, the settlement.
So this actually has a lot of safeguards all that built into place.
It's a wonderful document.
And what about Goa's industrialists?
Maybe there are certain wrong things happening. Certain things have gone wrong in last maybe 1 year or so. That's what people have been talking. Probably we should look at it and start correcting those wrong things.
So there it is. Goa's activists, its government lawyers and its industrialists all agree that the plan can work. All that the government has to do is to drop the violations in it. And Goa will have a blueprint for its future. So all of you, stop fighting, just sit down and work it out. With Frankie Fernandez, Srinivasan Jain in Goa for NDTV.
So the possibilities of a solution for Goa's crisis, or even the possibilities of more chaos, well, one of the reasons which brought us back to Goa was the tremendous feedback that we got to our first episode on the Great Goa Land Grab. So continue to write in with your views on what you think could be potential outcome of what's unfolding in Goa. You can write in feedback@ndtv.com or witness@ndtv.com, or you can SMS us at 63